Hey, welcome to Gener8 Media. My name's Lucas Simmons and I'm the producer and CEO. At its core, Gener8 Media is a film production company. We use advanced technology such as virtual production, and we do things the old-fashioned way. We are very flexible in our production methods because it's not about the gear or type of studio. We have access to all of it, but it's about how we tell our stories and what makes the most sense for the production. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, Gener8 is a film production company, but where do I come in? Well, if you're talent or crew, that's the easy part. Just shoot me an email and we'll find ways to collaborate. If you're a brand or company though, I have an incredible proposition for you. Personally, I despise current advertising methods. It's so in your face, and 99% of the time, it's boring and it feels forced. So I thought, what if I could design a process that allows companies like yours to get closer to their audience and show them a product or service in a non-disruptive way? And that is how the brand-specific movie was born. Now, I know, you hear movie and you probably think, that sounds cool, but I could never really afford that, could I? Well, guess what? You're in luck. We also designed a way to fit any reasonable budget. Like I said before, we have access to all levels of gear, incredible locations, and very talented crew. But this goes back to my first principle of production. What makes sense for the project? For example, you have a micro budget, say $1,000 or less. We're not going to show up with a crew of 15 and the latest in cinema technology, but we are going to show up. I spent literally years networking in the filmmaking space, so I know exactly who to call to fit your budget. Now, I want to make something very clear. Depending on your budget, you may have to compromise on gear or locations, but one thing I will never compromise on is telling a great story. Remember, the gear is not the important part. I've used millions of dollars in filmmaking equipment, and I've also used just an iPhone. And to be completely candid, if the production that used millions of dollars in equipment had a weak story, but the iPhone production had a great story, my analytics have proven that the audience will still prefer the iPhone production, simply because the story was strong and the characters were interesting. Now, one final question. What's your story?